Judges chapter 16. Samson and Delilah. Shimshon went to Azza, where he saw a prostitute and went in to spend the night with her. The people in Azza were told that Shimshon had come, so they surrounded the place where he was and also set an ambush for him all night at the city gate. Their plan was to do nothing at night, but to wait until morning and then kill him. However, Shimshon stayed in bed until midnight. Then he got up, took hold of the doors of the city gate and the two posts as well, pulled them up, bar and all, hoisted them on his shoulders, and carried him up to the top of the hill overlooking Hebron. After this, he fell in love with a woman who lived in the Sorek Valley, whose name was Delilah. The chiefs of the Pelishtim went up to her and said, "Coax him into telling you where his great strength comes from and how we can overcome him, so that we can tie him up and subdue him. If you do, each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver." Delilah said to Shimshon, "Please tell me what it is that makes you so strong, and how someone could tie you up and subdue you." Shimshon replied, "If they tie me up with 7 fresh bowstrings that have never been dried, I will become as weak as any other man." The chiefs of the Pelishtim brought up to her 7 fresh bowstrings which had not been dried, and she tied him up with them. Now she had people lying in wait in the inside room. So she said to him, "Shimshon, the Pelishtim have come for you." But he snapped the bowstrings as easily as a piece of straw breaks when it touches fire, and the source of his strength remained unknown. Delilah said to Shimshon, "You're making fun of me, telling me lies. Now, come on, tell me what it takes to tie you up." "All it takes," he answered, "is to tie me up with new ropes that haven't been used. Then I'll become weak and be like anyone else." So Delilah took new ropes, tied him up, and said to him, "Shimshon, the Pelishtim have come for you." The people lying in wait were in the inside room, but he broke the ropes from off his arms like a thread. Delilah said to Shimshon, "Till now you've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Tell me what it takes to tie you up." He said, "If you weave the 7 locks of my hair across thread on a loom." So she fastened her cloth work in the loom with a pin and wove his hair in, then said to him, "Shimshon, the Pelishtim have come for you." He awoke from his sleep and pulled away the loom pin and the interwoven cloth. She said to him, "How can you say you love me when your heart isn't with me? 3 times you've made fun of me, and you haven't told me the source of your great strength." Every day she kept nagging at him and pressing at him, till it bothered him to death. So that he finally told her everything. He said to her, "No razor has ever touched my head, because I have been a Nazir of God since I was born. If someone shaves me, then my strength will leave me, and I will be like any other man." When Delilah saw that he had really confided in her, she sent and summoned the chiefs of the Pelishtim with the message, "Come up this one last time, because he has finally told me the truth." The chiefs of the Pelishtim went up to her and brought the money with them. She had him go to sleep in her lap and called for a man to shave off his 7 locks of hair. Then she began tormenting him, but his strength had gone away. She said, "Shimshon, the Pelishtim have come for you." He awoke from his sleep and said, "I'll get out this time," just as I shook myself loose before. But he didn't know that Adonai had left him. So the Pelishtim seized him, gouged out his eyes and took him down to Azza. There they bound him with 2 bronze chains and put him to work grinding grain at the mill in the prison. However, after the hair on his head had been cut off, it began growing back again. The chiefs of the Pelishtim assembled to offer a great sacrifice to the god Dagon. As they celebrated they sang, "Our God has handed over to us our enemy Shimshon." Upon seeing him, the people praised their God. "Our God has handed over to us our enemy, who destroyed our land and killed so many of us." When they were in high spirits they said, "Summon Shimshon to amuse us." So they called Shimshon out of the prison, and he amused them, when they put him between the columns. Shimshon said to the boy holding him by the hand, "Let me feel the columns supporting the building, so that I can lean on them." The building was full of men and women, and all the chiefs of the Pelishtim were there. In addition to them, there were about 3,000 men and women on the roof, watching, as Shimshon performed. Shimshon called to Adonai, "Adonai Elohim, just this once. Please, think of me, and please, give me strength, so that I can take revenge on the Pelishtim for at least one of my 2 eyes." Shimshon got a good hold on the 2 middle columns supporting the building and leaned on them, on one with his right hand and on the other with his left. Then, crying, "Let me die with the Pelishtim," he pushed with all his might, and the building collapsed on the chiefs and on all the people inside. So he killed more at his death than he had killed during his life. His brothers and all his father's family came down, took him, brought him up and buried him between Zoar and Eshtaol, in the tomb of his father Manoch. He had judged Israel 20 years.